And we got great contributions from a lot of guys, obviously with John L. and Vlad sitting up here. They were incredible. I'd like to shout out Brennan Lorient. He made several hustle plays in the game. Undecided, and then BJ Greenley's on-ball defense, and then obviously and Giancarlo Rosado, I think, started both runs when we played well in each half. And then obviously we're excited to have Nick Boyd back in a full roster. First time we've had that in a while. So excited to head back home with a victory that we think will stand the test of time and help us throughout the season.
Run in the second half that gave you guys control. What and were you doing differently at that point?
I thought John L. did a great job of being a decoy. I thought his cuts, every time he cut and moved, it drew 2 or 3 defenders, or at least 6 eyes on him, and it opened up some space for other guys. And then that ended up freeing him later on in the game. But I thought it was just guys creating offense for their teammates, because St. Bonaventure came into the game. It was our game plan was to neutralize these two.
Can you talk a little bit about going for scoring a lot of points? You were way under your average, but your defense kind of.
We hate talking about last year other than what we can learn. And last year's team was the type of, we had a lot of these games. We were extremely gritty. We had to win it on the defensive end with loose balls and rebounding. And this year we've been, other than one night, we've been really, really solid offensively. So it's good for us to be able to win a game like this, because in a league where you're going to have to play so many games, you're going to have to win different styles, different systems. And so this is very good for us to prove that this team can win like that.
Talk a little bit more about Nick Boyd. Obviously, his first game back in Mongo. Did you like what you saw?
Great positive energy. He brought life to us. He still didn't have the rhythm that he's going to have later on, but just another threat on the floor makes everyone more difficult to guard when you have a guy that he's probably one of our best finishers at the rim, and he's got a really good knack of getting downhill to his left hand. So I think those baskets caused them to maybe overreact a little bit later and got us some good clean looks after that.
Well, you kind of had a slow start in the first half, just the 2 points. How do you stay focused? Obviously, you finished in double figures. How do you stay focused and not get down on yourself after that?
It takes time to get used to it, how they play, what they do, and after we adjust, we just take what game gives us.
Any Zoom questions?
Yes. Hi guys. Vlad, they kind of got you going in the second half with a couple of side pick and rolls. Was that sort of what you were planning all along, or was that something that just developed from what you saw at halftime?
We just saw what's going on and how they got that part of the basketball. So we just played, and they just saw the open line, so I just had to finish it.
Coach, congrats on the win. It was a great defensive performance. And it has been a somewhat frustrating performance from the charity stripe, 13 of 23 at the line. How important will it be to get that issue fixed as the season winds down and to take care of those inconsistencies at the charity stripe?
I'll be shocked if there's not several games this year that we win because of our ability to make free throws. Throughout the season, there's ebbs and flows. Water is always going to find its level. Right now, we're in a little bit of a rut where several of them rimmed in and out, but I was most proud of we offensive rebounded a couple of them, and we didn't let it affect other parts of our game, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We're not always going to make free throws. You're not always going to make threes. Every night is going to be its new and own entity, and so we've got to find ways to win even when the free throws aren't going in. Personally, as a coach, I just want to walk up there fearless and know that even if they do miss, we're going to find a way to get a stop or get the offensive rebound. It doesn't matter in the context of us finding a way to win the game, and hopefully that will alleviate some stress.
And you always talk about winning games in different ways, not being one-dimensional every game throughout the season. With tonight's performance being particularly a strong defensive performance, how important will it be to be diverse in the way you win games?
To be honest, I thought we won this game because I thought Nelly got about 5 tough rebounds. Brennan and Vlad both got a couple that were, I don't even want to say 50-50 basketballs. I thought they probably were in position to get them, and our guys went and got it done. And like I said, I mean, we didn't shoot well from three. We didn't shoot well from the free throw line. We turned the ball over more than we normally do. The ball didn't move because of their physicality like it normally does. And they switched and got us a little bit stagnant in the first half. So with all that being said, for us to be able to come up here and beat a program and team and coach by 10, it's a heck of a performance. And like I said, grit would be the word I would use to describe it.
Can you talk about Brennan had about a stretch of about a minute or so where he kept the ball alive twice on under the basket, and then he made that great save on the other end of the court.
Yeah, as I referred to a minute ago, I thought those were the biggest possessions in the game. And if I remember correctly, that was during our 14-0 run that we were just getting extra possessions. And every time we walk in the locker room after the game, the first stat I look at is, did we get more shots than they got? And tonight we got 8 more shots from the field, and we got 12 more free throws, which is essentially 6 more shots. So the way we do math, we got 14 more shots in St. Bonaventure, and without Brennan, that number is not 14.
Hold on the Zoom questions. 1 second.
Pause 1 second, guys.
I know you guys scored 24 points off 21 turnovers. Can you just talk about the defensive pressure that fell in today?
We knew from the jump from our game plan we had to put pressure on them, and coach stressed it a lot during Thursday and Friday practice, and we just came out there executed.
Any other questions on Zoom?
Yes, and was it? It seemed like toward the end that Benning got a little gassed. Was that sort of something you thought you could do to him eventually?
Well, him being in foul trouble is definitely beneficial to us, and they rely on Vinny to do a lot. He scores. He's a great screener. He demands a lot of attention, and by him being in foul trouble, it helped us on the defensive end. But I'm not sure fatigue played a factor. There were several times when I looked out and saw our guys picking up 94 feet, and I thought we looked very, very fresh and energized and determined to get stops.
Last question.
Coach, really quickly, how were you guys able to contain Micah Adams-Wood so well tonight, considering he really had come off hitting 19 straight shots coming into this game?
I thought our ball screen coverage was exceptional compared to where we've been this season. I thought Vlad, G, all the guys that were playing the 5, their communication, their situational awareness. Lefties are tough to defend because it's a little bit different. We tried to keep him off his left hand as much as possible, even though he can go right. And I thought our gaps and our off-ball activity caused them to get a little stagnant, much like they did to us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.